Would you hire a woman to move a fridge for you?
Maybe she's a lesbian. I don't mean that in the wrong way, because there's some lesbians that I wouldn't hire to move a fridge.
Why are girls so competitive with each other?
In what context are you asking?
Women, just from talking to Jamie about this, women look at other women, like they'll check them out, like top to bottom, freaking like stare at their ass for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But for what reason do you think they do it for?
What reason?
Because you're saying, are they competitive? I think they might just be gay, the women you're talking about.
Well, Jamie's the one that said she does that.
I mean,
I never said that I stared at an ass.
That's a just flat out lie. That's not.
I think the bigger issue is you don't know what competitive means.
it's not so much of a competitive thing. I mean, it's more of you notice that, like, hey, that's a nice butt. I mean, and then you're past it.
But if we do it, we're going to jail.
Or we're gay. Because guys don't look at other guys and be like, God, that's one big fucking dick. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, we don't do that. Well, some probably do, but I don't.
You just said that you did that. And you're like, no. I do. I do that.
Well, what I do is my business. No, I mean, I don't know. How about we shut up and let them talk for a minute?
Sorry.
Let me reword his question because I think he's going in two different directions. So, do you think women are naturally more competitive towards each other in a social standing type situation? Like, it seems like women are more quick to stab each other in the back than men are. Why do you think that is? Or do you think that's true?
I think it just depends on the situation.
What type of situation do you think warrants this type of behavior?
Well, I don't think that it's warranted, but girls get kind of competitive if they like the same guy. I mean, look at, like, high school fights between girls.
What do you think? Do you think that that's something that, like, they grow out of? Or do you think that's just inherently what women are?
I think women still do it. It's just, like, a little more low-key.
More over, if it was actually serious than just, you looked at my boyfriend wrong, now I'm going to punch you in the face and smoke a cigarette?
Well, we're just more petty about it. It's not more about physical. It's just, like, you know.
You're more likely to, like, say something about it than to punch her in the throat.
You tear them down kind of, like, verbally rather than physically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I remember in, like, 3rd grade, one of our teachers said, with the boys, they'll punch each other and get over it, but the girls will go behind the slide and talk about each other and hurt each other's feelings. Do you think that's an accurate representation even today of what you see in women and men?
And we're not being at all sexist. Let's just put that out there.
I might be.
What do you think?
I mean, it is to a certain extent. I mean, some girls are more physical when it comes to it, but it's more likely that a girl would either silently not even do anything, but just secretly not like that person, or go up to the person, maybe not even confront in person, just over a message, and tell them what their problem is with them instead of being
Stop
physical.
shaking the table.
I'm not.
So you think, like, passive aggressivity is something that grows in women?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, I guess, Jamie, you probably can't speak as much on this, but in the workplace, like, how do you think being a woman is different from being a man? I mean, Jamie, I'm sure you understand enough, and you played sports in school, so you understand that dynamic. So how do you guys feel like it's different trying to do those things as a woman versus maybe as a man?
I wouldn't know because I work with a bunch of women.
Okay, and what is that like for you? You've worked around women and then you've worked around men. So who do you inherently prefer to work around?
Women.
And why is
Women
that?
work harder.
But you were also... I will personally say, just from knowing the men you've worked with, it is just the men you've worked with.
I mean...
Quit leaning on the table.
Would you shut up?
Quit leaning on the table and I won't say anything.
I don't want to be sexist or anything, but would you hire a woman to move a fridge for you?
Never mind. Maybe she's a lesbian. What? Obviously, I mean, I don't mean that in the wrong way. Because there's some lesbians that I wouldn't hire to move a fridge. But what? I don't just mean.
Making yourself sound worse.
I don't want to laugh, but I'm only laughing because of him.
Well, would you hire every lesbian to move a fridge?
Why does it matter if she's lesbian?
What?
Why does it matter?
There's plenty of lesbians I would hire and some lesbians I wouldn't.
Why? What's
does
the
it
difference?
Because I think just from what I've seen, the homosexual crowd around here, at least with the women, well, I guess even with the men, you usually find, I don't know what word I'm supposed to use, so I'm going to use one. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. You usually see like the butches. And like the, more traditional female. Am I wrong with that? Think about all the couples that you guys have seen. That's usually how it goes, right? And whether that's because the woman just inherently wants something close to a man but doesn't want a man, which leads them to wanting those type of women.
But that's not always the case.
No, not always. Obviously, it's not 100% right with this, but I think the butch to regular female ratio is pretty even. What do you guys think?
I haven't seen a lot of like openly gay couples around here.
I mean, I've only seen a couple, but the ones I've seen follow that pattern, so that's all I can draw from it. I mean, I can't say anything else. But that's why it's like 50-50 on lesbians I would hire to move a fridge.
Okay, but what does them being a butch have
yeah.
anything to do with moving a fridge?
I think they're just inherently better at moving fridges.
Why?
Okay, so Brandon, I know you don't want to sound bad, and that's why you're not fucking saying it. But he is under the impression that a butch is going to be a bulldog, right? So they're
Just say more manly.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say, and you just kind of took over there. I just think they're inherently closer to a man. And there's men I wouldn't hire to move a fridge. I mean, obvious. I'm not hiring him to move a fridge.
Is it because he's gay?
No, I don't care that he's gay. That doesn't bother me. It's the fact that I've seen him try to move close to fridges before, and it doesn't turn out well.
How close do you think he's gotten to moving something heavy?
It took him a half hour to get that chair in here, so I don't even think it's even possible. So, I mean, that's nothing against lesbians. I love lesbians, but, and I think...
They make some real great work on Pornhub, I'll tell you what.
Well,